Spoiler alert, she gets some injuries. Oh yes, Walter, we can hear you. Metaphorical birds. These birds are not really dying, they're just transforming into another energy. Hey guys, it's Friday, July 12th, and this is a continuation of my last vlog. I didn't quite get everything to fit in one vlog for week 2's Camp Nano, and once again Ryan took the kids out to his parents' house because his brothers are still in town and they will be tomorrow, and then they'll leave Sunday. I'll hopefully have some time to work on writing and possibly filming for my other channel, and then I'll be going out to my in-laws for dinner. I didn't do any writing yet today. I've just been busy filming and editing videos, not writing. So I'll just show you my screen real quick and let you see where I'm at, and then hopefully I will get about 40 or so minutes of writing in before Ryan and the kids get home. I've just been trying to export this freaking vlog. I keep having this low memory issue. I'll just go ahead and show you my screen and show you where I'm at. Here is the second half of the second act folder, and I'm just gonna scroll up so we can see the full folder. So this is the end of that folder. So as you can see, I still have quite a ways to work, and I did make it about halfway through this scene or chapter, whatever you want to. I never know what to call these little cards. But I did make it about halfway through that, so hopefully I'll be able to move this drag document under that. And then this card here, it says everything below this, the dates need to change. Because I realized that I was spending a lot of time talking about this major event that happened at the Midpoint and what she did after that. It was another turning point in her life where that happened and her life completely changed again. I was just establishing that new normal and everything. Oh yes, Walter, we can hear you. I'm gonna stop rambling because it's already 6:16 now, and Ryan usually gets home around 7, maybe a little after because it is Friday night. There's no activities for either of the kids tomorrow. Maybe they'll be a little later, but I'm not gonna bet on it because I definitely want a sure thing. So if I can get, at this point, 44 minutes towards my writing goal, I'll take it. So I'll catch you later. So I finished editing that scene that I was partway through and quickly came to realize that because I'm condensing things more toward the end of summer and into the fall, which is the start of high school for her, I'm gonna have to sit down and really put some thought into these dates that I had, because I had a date that was June 3rd, June 14th, and then June 20th, July 14th, then July 21st, July 31st, and then that jumps to August 31st. But I'd like to basically jump most of this to the end of July and into that August 31st. So it's just kind of boom, 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 July to August, rather than a couple things happen in June. Jump ahead to almost the end of July. Now jump ahead to almost the end of August. I think I just need to really get things figured out date-wise. I know the order I want things to happen in, I just don't know the exact date that will be accomplished. It's 6:54 and I just kind of want to mail it in for the night as far as brain and mental activity goes. I worked hard today. I had a lot going on. I only got a half hour today and not much accomplished in this second half of the second act, but I'm okay with that because I need a little mental break. I need to turn this fan back on because I turned it off to film and it is hot in here. I'm gonna go figure out something to do. Probably catch you guys tomorrow. Not sure what all's on my agenda for tomorrow, but I'm gonna try to get a couple of hours or more of writing in. I feel like really just setting aside a chunk of time to devote to this and really diving in, and I think first order of business would be to really figure out the dates of these scenes and if specific scenes are even staying here or what would replace them and what date that would take place. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be vlogging tomorrow. I'll see you at my next update. Hey guys, it is Saturday, July 13th, and I've done exactly this much writing since my very last update. I ended up getting a half hour of writing done yesterday, and that's it. Hopefully today, well, it's already 11:58 a.m. I think I'm gonna read over my chapters 8 and 9 from my first act real quick again before I go ahead and email those off to my writing group. And then I will just jump into what I'm now calling that muddy middle. It's not bad, but because I have to change all those dates and maybe even just read through the whole thing and figure out what elements I like about it, what's not working, what scenes just need completely scrapped. Because I think there are a few, but maybe not as many as I'm thinking. I think I'll only know that if I just stop where I'm at and read everything to that second plot point or that turn into the third act so that I can make notes and really reacquaint myself with what the heck is going on in this second half of the second act. It was the part that was, I knew I had to go from point A to point B, but I wasn't exactly sure how I was going to get there. And I'm still maybe even a little bit unsure, but I know there are elements within those scenes I wrote that were working and that I really liked and that were bringing everything along for the ride and helping with that character arc and all of that. But at the same time, I know there are a few ways that I can maybe just write a new scene and kill more than two birds with one stone. Which sounds pretty disgusting coming from a vegan. Metaphorical birds. These birds are not really dying. They're just transforming into another energy. I want to make these scenes pack more of a punch and accomplish more than one thing within each scene. Just have a lot more going on to keep things poppin'. I think just to get an all in all better idea of what I need to do and where these dates need to change and be at. And then that chunk between April, where this big thing happens, and July, maybe even end of July. I just want to sum that up, just boom, as quick as I can, without completely just like, I'm not even making sense to me. Am I making any sense to you? Probably not. But that's, I think, my game plan. So that's what I'm going to do. So there's not going to be much writing and anything interesting to even record or film for you guys at this point. I think I'll just do my work and then check in with you when that's done. Or even along the way if any weird epiphanies come to me or something. Probably won't. But if anything cool happens, I'll be sure to bring you along. And if not, I'll see you at the next update. Nobody tells you how hard it is to read your own work without just wanting to edit as you go. Like, no. Oh my god, it is so hard. Yeah, the entirety of what you saw me just type in as minutes earned today, 208 of them. I pretty quickly went through the chapters 8 and 9 from my first act to send off to my critique group, but then when I started reading through... Okay, Walter, I agree. When I started reading through that, where I had left off with my drag document reading, it's so hard not to fix all the little errors you see, and because that was a first draft, like complete first draft, like even zero draft in places. Oh, it's so not easy. I put it all in a Word document and I'm going to print it out so that I can have it physically in front of me and just really look over it. So much of it was both better and worse than I thought. Better in a sense of the scenes themselves were fine and I was pretty happy with them, but the journal entries between things that happen, it almost just reads like that whole 44-page section basically reads like a series of short stories, and that's not what I want. I want it to be flowing from scene to scene to scene, but because there's so much to update between this big bombshell of a thing that happens to this girl, Jackie, my main character. I don't want to say what it is because it's a pretty big deal, but I'm pretty sure what this thing is going to be part of the blurb or the back cover copy. This incident. We'll just call it the incident. So this incident is pretty big, and it takes a lot of getting used to and reacquainted with life again, because I can't, it's so hard to explain without telling you just what it is and what's going on. There is so much ground to cover, both spiritually, mentally, physically, in her relationships, like in just everything. And I don't want to leave anything out, and I want everything to be completely covered in chocolate and just ooey gooey for the readers, you know, as far as the payoff goes for the reader. I want it to be good and worth that big climax scene. I want everything to be good and cohesive and read like one story, not this series of short stories. I have my work cut out for me. Hey, though, at least the first act, the first half of the second act, and the third act are all in pretty damn good shape. So I guess I can't complain too much. Well, at least I think the third act is. I haven't revisited that one since I wrote it either, but to me, because this big thing didn't just happen. I mean, a pretty decently big event happens at that turn from second act to third act, but it's been building up so that when this thing happens, it's just like boom, 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 from scene to scene to scene, and everything feels like one story and cohesive, and it just really makes sense. But with this bridge from the end of that first half of the second act to that end of the second half of the second act to the third act, ooh, there really aren't any words to describe. There are a lot of it I do like, and I was pleasantly surprised that I'd include it, and I was happy with, really happy with. And it's not this bad, but I almost feel like you're a little kid at your very first day of school, and then your mom or dad comes to get you, and you just want to tell them everything all at once. You're just like, ah, and then this, and then this, and then this, and then this. Am I waving my hands around a lot? Oh my god. I'm fired up, you guys. But you know what I mean? Like, you're just so excited. Like, things are really moving in this story. Then they screech to a grinding halt because something big and major happens that literally takes her out of everything for a while. Maybe this is why this isn't a genre. It's just, you can't define these things, these spiritual things. There's just, it's so hard to wrap your head around. I don't know. But I have felt called to write this because it is very needed. I'm not sure I'm going to do it justice. But that was one of my biggest fears going into this, and why I just put off the writing and just kind of kept it as ideas on my note cards, because this is such a huge deal. This is a huge subject matter to tackle, especially in a young adult setting with a young adult main character. I'm sure you guys are thoroughly confused because I haven't really divulged a lot of what my book is even about. I mean, I think the only thing I've told anybody is that it is set in the 90s, and it has to do with themes of spiritual awakening and paranormal stuff, and it's set in Montana. Other than that, I think that's about all I have divulged about it. It's so big, and I feel like it's the ocean, and I'm this little guy in a rowboat that's just, you can't take on the ocean. How dare you think you can take on the ocean? See, Walter agrees with me. It's 4:44. I see that number everywhere. I've spent most of my day having my eyes glaze over at just how big this is and how hard this is to make sense of for people who don't really know what a spiritual awakening is. Even me, someone who's had a spiritual awakening, is kind of like, like, I don't know. I don't know what my next update is going to be, because I can't just keep trudging through this and editing it. So I think what I'm going to do is, once those pages are printed out, read through them, highlight, mark it up, and just see what I can condense. I think that's my biggest issue. Spoiler alert. She gets some injuries, and there's a lot of recovering. It's boring to go to doctor's appointments, so I'm trying to sum everything up in a journal entry of this happened at this doctor's appointment, they said this at this doctor's appointment, they said that at this doctor's appointment. At least to me, doctor's appointments aren't that interesting. Unless it's a big theme in your book. I can totally get on board with that, like 5 feet apart. Then it would be interesting. Her injuries are a pretty big part of this story, even going into the second book, but they're not like the theme or, it's hard to explain, but I mean, you don't need to know, oh, she got her cast off on this day, she did this on this day. I mean, you do need to know those things as a reader, but yet at the same time, it's like you don't want to be beat over the head. Sorry, my battery died. I think I was saying you don't want to be beat over the head with all this information, and just, it was very info dumpy. It was driving the plot forward by giving information, but not in a very organic way, because reading a journal entry to me is very, it's like a cop-out or like an info dump, which her journal plays a pretty integral role in this book, but I don't think us as the reader should have to read all these journal entries to find out what's going on in her life. I still have a lot of information to get across in hopefully under 80,000 pages. 80,000 pages? My God, 80,000 words. I can't even think anymore. I'm a little fried from just knowing all the work that I need to do in this section. I'm sure many of you other Authortubers and writers know what I'm talking about when you are trying to flesh out that zero draft, first draft, second draft, for it to make sense and for it to not be one huge info dump in places, and for the scenes to flow from one to the other without it feeling disjointed. So there's where I'm at. And I called it in my other vlog the muddy middle. Now I'm gonna call it the Mother MmmMmm Middle. The Mother MmmMmm Middle. I have my work cut out for me. I may need to take a time out for my mental sanity for the rest of the night. I have worked, over 3 hours on this book today, and I think I deserve a break, and I may even take a break tomorrow and just get back in it on Monday. I'm not sure yet. I'll see you in my next update.